One of your sayings that I've heard you say that I like is when you have a go, you
get a go.
You get a go.
I think that's sort of fundamental to how Australians look at the world, because we're a bit different.
You have a crack, right?
You do, and fairness means, different things to different people and in different cultural settings. I've spent a fair bit of time in the United States since the last election, and in the United Kingdom. Reason for that is I put together an international agreement called AUKUS, Australia, UK, United States.
What was it like pulling that together?
Oh, well, I'll come back to it, but it was very.
I'm interested.
Difficult. It was very, very difficult. So I've spent a bit of time in the UK and the US since no longer being PM and serving in the Parliament, promoting those sorts of agreements. And
I've seen you with Boas.
Sorry?
I've seen you with Boas.
Yeah. Well, he's a good mate, and we were in Israel together pretty recently, standing by Israel and the terrorist attacks against Israel back on October 7. But a fair go for those who have a go. If you have a go, you get a go. What that essentially means is you've got to put in to take out. There's no free riding. We all, and I think these are Shire values personally. People here work hard, but they also give back. They volunteer. They're at local surf clubs. They're in the Rural Fire Service. They run the local football clubs, particularly soccer, which is huge down here.
The first time we actually met was at one of those events.
It's called Community Classic, down with all the surf clubs, down at Cronulla. And that's true. So, people work hard here too. And so when people succeed, they feel that they should be giving back to the community. And equally, if they're prepared to go out and have a crack, well, they don't expect sort of people to get in their way or hold them back or talk them down. And that's how our country should be. I think that's what we aspire to. But the idea that you just sort of show up and say, well, what am I entitled to? Well, no, that's not how our country should work. I don't believe it is how it does. I think there's always a great risk that we could lose that idea, that everyone just expects everything to be handed to them on a plate.
We get a harsh reality of that when we compete. You turn up and you think you've done enough and you haven't. Like you find out and you go back and you have another go. You have another crack.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said. I mean, this in your sporting career. You don't land every dive. You don't know. Is that the right term?
Nail it. That's the one.
You don't nail every dive, but you keep going, and that's why you practice so hard. And some tournaments, some competitions, you're gonna absolutely succeed. Other times, you may not make the cut. I mean, look at Cam Smith, one of my favourite golfers. He at the Australian Open, up there in Queensland at the PGA, he didn't have the best tour down under, but he won the British Open a couple of years ago. So you have your good days and your bad days, and I think with that fair go for those who have a go, that's also about understanding that sometimes you fail, and we can be a bit harsh on failure. You don't succeed unless you've failed. And you'd know that as a professional, elite athlete.
Those tough days when you even look in the mirror and you're like, can I do this? Like, am I able to get there? Yeah. And then you go back to work, you make a plan and you get through. I feel like that's what builds your character.
It totally builds your character.